my July/August vlog. I tried this month and last month to film like little sections here and there to try and make my life easier for myself, and also just to like try something new. But it was a bit all over the place. So this is just a like intro warning about what you're gonna see. You may get really in-depth detail at some things, and other things may just get passed over. But it's a realistic assessment of what those moments were like. So yeah, please stay tuned and continue watching to see what I made in July and August, and what I unmade, which actually is probably more more than what I made. But yeah, welcome to the vlog, welcome to the podcast, and enjoy. Who's unhinged? Good morning. It's July 9th, and I'm knitting. I was gonna say it's very early. It's 8:30 in the morning. I'm filming on my iPad, which I feel a bit weird about. It's kind of like foggy. Doesn't matter, it's fine. I thought for this month that I would try and do like a vlog style, filming little bits here and there, so I don't get like overwhelmed with having to do a sit down podcast every month. And I just thought it would be fun to shake it up a bit. I'm working on the thing that I said that I was gonna put down and that I was gonna rip out, because of the reason that I cast it on in the first place is that I want something with ribbing to just do. I realized that I could make a sock. Also, is this how I'm gonna wear my hair for the day? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so I just wanted to update you. I've literally just cast on, which is why I still have these, and I'm knitting. I started doing it in 3x1 rib. This is gonna be a little t-shirt. That's the hope, is that it's a like bottom up little t-shirt guy, but I'm not using a pattern, I'm just like winging it. So I probably will end up ripping it out. I definitely did some sort of maths to figure out what stitch count that I put on, but it was last week, so I can't remember. Yeah, it's in this yarn, which is a Malabrigo yarn. It's a full ply weight, but it's a single ply merino. I think it's called Mechita, and this is the dried orange color. It was one that I considered using for my mystery knit along this last October, and then didn't use. So I have this left over, and then I also have like 2 other shades of this yarn left over, because I was very indecisive with my colors and ended up ordering loads. So if this is not enough, or it's looking like this won't be enough to make whatever the t-shirt ends up being, I have no idea what I want the top, like the from here up to look like, but I might do a little v-neck, I might do a flat neck with I might do sleeves, I might do little strappy sleeves, don't know. I might just rip it out entirely, but I just wanted something simple to work on because I finished a really big seaming project yesterday and my hands just needed a little break to do some ribbing. So that's what's happening. And I actually have to go and leave for work in like 5 minutes, but I'm hoping that I can get to the end of this so that I don't have to take all my stitch markers with me to work, but fingers crossed. And I will catch you up when there are more things to catch you up on. Hello, it is a week later. It's July 18th. I'm not sure when I last filmed, and it's been a crazy day. It's a crazy hair day. I'm filming this after work. I'm doing a summer school at the moment where we're teaching a show in a week, and it's a bit chaotic. I've not done any knitting, but it's Thursday today, and the show is Friday, and then Saturday I'm working a shift at the yarn shop, so I'm hoping to finish this so I can wear it. I'll show you my progress. This is the little thing that I was just talking about, little self-drafted top situation. I can't remember what I said in the last clip, but hopefully it was
self-explanatory. This is what it looks like so far. This is the front and this is the back. It's got like a very low V at the back. It is loosely modelled off of this swimsuit, which is absolutely blowing out the camera. There we go. It's very brat summer. It's a U-swim swimsuit. And I really like the shape of the top on me. It's also like a similar kind of ribbed material. And the front is like a relatively low V, kind of like a mid V, and then the back is quite a lot lower. So that's the inspo. I have got to about 28 stitches on the I-cord, so 28 stitches, I actually can't remember. I think last time I was just knitting this section, so I'll go back a little bit. I split, try to chaotically show you all of the different sections. I started doing the V, so I split at the back and started doing decreases and also started doing like a wee I-cord edge. And I did that for, let's say, like 3 inches. And then I split also for the front and the back. I think I did the backs first, but I can't really remember. Yeah, I must have, because I'm just finishing this front bit. And I did a few more decreases on each side. I did not, I'm just gonna sit down. I feel like doing this standing is a lot. Hold. Okay, better, I'm now sat down. Where was I? So much. Right, so I did not split evenly for the sleeves. I kept way more stitches on the front than on the back when I split for the sleeves because, well, I guess they're not really sleeves, they're like straps. In this garment, you can see that the strap here kind of comes like further in, so there's more, like it's not, if you hang it up exactly upside down and fold it in half, it looks like this. So the sleeve is like, the split for the sleeve is here instead of here. So I kind of followed the similar sort of structure and did more stitches on the front than on the back when I split for this straps. And then I did 28 repeats of back and forward, so 56 rows for each of the straps. And I'm almost at the point of having done that for this. So for the back, I just did some single decreases here and then some double decreases here. I might have just done single decreases on both sides. And then on the front, I did single decreases at the side and double decreases up the split to make it a little more, instead of, that's the concept. Anyway, so all I think I need to do is graft these two top bits together. However, I don't know if the straps are long enough, so my plan is to put all of these onto holders and try it on to see if I'm happy with where the sleeves are. And then if I am, I'm really blown out, sorry. Here it is. Yeah, if that's okay, then I will graft them. But I have a feeling that I might want them to be a little bit longer, but I've got loads of yarn left. I'm doing this with a single skein and I still have like this much left. So I could have potentially gone longer on the body, but I actually think I feel okay with where it is because I want it to be like a wee crop top. So it will pull out like quite a lot. but they'll still be like, I'm hopeful that it will sit at my natural waist. It may be a little bit short, in which case I can always pick up stitches at the bottom and add some more length with the leftovers. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna try it on after I finish all of those, like the last few rows in the front, and we'll see, we'll go from there. But yeah, I'm gonna, I think, also shower and get into my pajamas, so I may not film anymore this evening. But yeah, it's the 18th of July. Check in with you another time.
Hello again from another crazy hair in bed knitting setup. I have finished the sleeves on this little guy. I ended up doing a little bit more than I had done when I last showed it to you, and then Kitchenering the top. I can't really see, this is a very bad angle. Slightly better angle. Okay, you can see, can you see? I don't know if you can see. Anyway, I Kitchener stitched the top. I did Kitchener stitch in rib, like I did the I-cord and then in rib. I have never actually officially looked up how to do it, but I just like Kitchener stitches. You put the needle in the first time the way that's opposite to what the stitch is, and then you take it off using the way the stitch is. So you like put it in for a knit stitch, you'd like put it purlwise in, do the back, come back, lift it up with knitwise. So I just did that for as the stitches were presenting themselves. And it looks pretty good. Yeah, like I can see where it is, but it's fine. Like it looks like it's all one sleeve. So that fit is all good. I tried it on and the fit is really nice. I had this much yarn left over. So I think, well, so I decided that I'm gonna pick up stitches and knit more on the bottom. However, I picked up the stitches. I first tried to do it in a way that was like directly into the stitches so that it was like really neat and lined up. But in order to do that, I had to kind of go a bit lower into the hem, like a bit further down from the cast off edge, and so it became really bulky and I didn't like that. So then I just picked up along the cast on edge, but that has made it so that it's a little bit wonky and it really doesn't look great. So I did that for a little bit with the 2x2 rib, but it's bugging me. So I think what I'm gonna do is rip that out and pick up again and do, I think, potentially a 1x1 rib around the edge, partially just so it looks different, so that it's different on purpose rather than like trying to make it look the same and then that just looking weird, because I do think it needs like just a bit more length to be like super wearable for me. It's like fine, but it's quite cropped, and if I think if it was a bit longer I'd wear it a lot more often, and I have quite a lot left and I don't know what I'd do with it otherwise. So yeah, I just thought I would update you, and this is live troubleshooting happening right here. So I'm gonna try the 1x1 rib and see if that's any better. It is Sunday, by the way. No, it's not. It's Saturday, the 20th of July. I thought that I'd work today, but I didn't, so I'm trying to now finish this by tomorrow so I can wear it to work. That's it. Bye. Good morning. I am just back from a trip, and I have done very little in the way of vlogging content. I think there will have to be some sort of wraparound to this video, which you've probably already seen. But today is the 28th of August, so I still have a few days left. This is going to be a July-August mixed video. July was very busy because I was in a fringe show, so anyone doesn't know, the Edinburgh Fringe is a arts festival that happens in Edinburgh every year. It's, I think, the biggest arts festival in the world. It's a big deal, in that a lot of people come and it's very busy. Very busy. It's a lot. But I was in a show that was on there, so we were rehearsing most of July, and then August was the show, and then I've just been away for about 2 weeks. I went to Dorset for a bit to see my family, and I went to a festival called Greenbelt, which I love. I didn't get to go last year because I was in a Fringe show that was like a full run, so I was really happy to be back, and that was nice. That is a place where I usually get a lot of knitting done, and I did get a lot of knitting done this year, but I feel like I want to unravel it. I already unraveled it once while I was at the festival, so that's probably gonna get ripped back, unfortunately. It's a big month for ripping things back. I don't know if it's just because I've been so busy that I've been struggling to like settle into something, or like what the vibe is. I really wanted to have like a project that I could just do knit away on during rehearsals and during and during the show and during the festival. That was what I was trying to say. And it just didn't happen for me. So I have a few different projects on the go. I also have 2 finished objects. One is from July, and it's a little top, which I'll show you, and one is from August, which is a pair of socks that I literally just finished the toe on, that you will have seen and recognized. But I think I'm gonna shake it up and do finished objects at the end of the video, so stay tuned if you want to see some finished objects. Yeah, I've just woken up. I've got my like top knot pony in. This is supposed to try and keep my curls, but my like little headscarf thingy kind of fell off halfway through the night, so we're living in the land of frizz, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm embracing it. I'm embracing it. So yeah, I just wanted to like look for something to knit today. I've got the next like 3 days off. What day is it today? Wednesday. Yeah, I'm back to work Saturday, so today's Wednesday. But I was just looking at my calendar and I was like, today's the last day, but actually I've been so busy that my calendar is still on July, and the last day of July was a Wednesday. But yeah, I still have some days left to hopefully get some stuff done. But my current situation is thus. Okay, so we are back to this yarn, the Aran. The more I swatch with it, the more I feel like it's a heavy Aran, chunky vibes. From Tamarisk Farm. It's organic wool. It's slightly different textures, I would say. I've got it in a few different colors, shades, sheep textures. That's a different yarn. So I have these 3 different kind of grey brown, 2 kind of greys and a brown, and then also in this cream. Now it has been several jumpers. It's been several jumpers, and the latest 2, one you've seen already, and this is the Ursula jumper by Cieslak, and I was just about to split for the sleeves, and I just was like, do I want to split for the sleeves? It's a question we must all ask ourselves. And so I just left it, and then I cast something else on, which is this sweater, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce.
Tysjöarna.
Potentially that's something for me to research between now and next time, but I have not yet researched how to pronounce it. It is like chunky colorwork. I had the colorwork bug after my sheep camp, and so that was, 2 birds with 1 stone, getting rid of some yarn that I need not getting rid of, but like using up some yarn that I really need to find a project for, and doing some colour work. So I have cast that on, and I'm about here. I'm really enjoying the colour work. I did a tubular bind on, which usually I'm like, wow, I put in the work and the effort, doesn't that look great? It's a little flary outy, and I'm questioning it. I'm trying to tell myself that if I wanted to, I could fold it down, because I'm also not sure if I'd want such a high neck, sorry for the clacking, and sew it in. I could always do that, like just a little bit at the top to make the top a bit more secure, but I kind of like the height because I actually cut some repeats off. It suggested to do like a certain amount, and I didn't do that amount. I did a little bit less. I think it cut off like 2 inches or something. So it's not actually going to be that high. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. I don't think I want to rip back and recast on. Like, that just seems like so much faff. But I'm seeing a lot of things wrong with the things that I'm making right now, and I think that's maybe part of the problem. But it's gorgeous. I'm very fun to make, but I have this much left of the cream. So if I want to continue with option B, or option like D, E, F, whatever it is, I'm needing to rip this out. So I just wanted to show what I had before I did that. I'm just gonna put it on for funsies and see how I did with my fit, because I remember changing a few things. I'm not used to v-necks. I also don't know if I would wear a v-neck very often, because I mostly wear like turtleneck tops, especially in the winter, and just I don't think it looks right for me. It's not the vibe I'm going for. But yeah, I think I redistributed the stitches so that there were fewer here and more at the back and front, which maybe was a choice. I still feel like I've not cracked raglan for me personally, and that's something I would like to do, and that also plays into the sweater that I've been working on while I was a green belt, which is a raglan sweater, and also there's also gauge issues there. That's a whole bunch of different things, so that's a bigger discussion. But yeah, this is what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna unravel her, because I don't want to keep making it, and I also don't know what I would do with the different colours in this, but this was a very good exercise in figuring out what gauge I wanted to knit this at, and what my gauge was. It would also help me to discover that probably the yarn was more of a chunky. So we're on a journey. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to show you. Can I get over the slight bending out? I really thought that it would make it look neater, but I think because it's like the corrugated ribbing with the two colours, it just really whoosh, like brings it in. And obviously the tubular bind off is supposed to be kind of like loose and like not loose, but like stretchy and whatever. So we're left with this situation. I probably should just put it on longer needles and try it on. That would be the sensible thing to do. But I just want to keep knitting. I just want to like eat my breakfast and knit on something, but sometimes that's not as simple as you'd like it to be. But yes, I think I'm going to sit and do some unraveling, or I might get out my crank, but mostly I've just been doing a lot of like hand winding recently, because I just can't be bothered to get out the Swift and ball winder. So that's the situation. Here's my tea. I've been in bad lighting for most of this, and I'll see you later today, I'm sure. Good morning. It is the next day. It's Thursday the 29th of August. I have now changed over my calendar. It's the correct month. It's just barely morning. It's 11:30. I've just showered and got dressed. I'm in my clothes. I'm in the process, you can't see, but I will show you in a minute, of sorting out all of my yarn stuff, as I'm wont to do, because my knit group is doing a yarn swap, and I wanted to look through and see what I had to donate. However, it has been the summer, and there have been some moths around. I've seen them in the air, and I think there's nothing with holes in it, but there's some stuff that's like, the thing is that some of it is, the yarn's just dusty. It's just dusty because of living in a room that is old and has dust. I mean, like quite an old building. Don't know if that makes a difference to the dust levels, but it does seem to be a particularly dusty room compared to other places that I've lived. But it's hard to tell whether it's like moth egg grit or if it's just dust. Either way, anything that I'm donating, I want to make sure goes in the freezer for the appropriate amount of time, so that I'm not passing moths onto the knit group. I feel like that would be big drama and also bad knitting behaviour. So that's part of what's going on, but I'm also just wanting to like clean out my stash. So it's becoming into a bigger job than it was going to be. I've found dusty corners of my room. I have found some like rose petals that needed to go in the bin. I have found I had like a stack of knitted sweaters that I meant to donate, but I can't get rid of because I made them and they're special, and I don't want to get rid of them, but I don't know what to do with them, so they've just been sitting, and I think those potentially have been exposed to moths, so they're currently in the bath getting a big wash in lavender wool wash, so that they're nice and clean. So yeah, there's like lots of little jobs. Also, this is my kind of last like big stretch of time off before I go back to work for like the autumn, so I'm just trying to do a general room clean, but anything that is yarn related and that is interesting I will show you. I've also made a lot of progress on the jumper that I was making yesterday, but so much so that I've almost run out of yarn, so I've got a solution, but I'm going to talk about that later because I feel like I've already rambled on enough and I've got cleaning to do. So let me show you the mess and then we'll see how we do. So it's actually not too bad. This is all of the stuff that was previously in this corner, which is now clean and has been wiped and is beautiful, but I don't know now what I'm going to do with it. A lot of the yarn actually looks fine, like this I don't think I have any concerns about, and I'm not donating it, so no concerns there. This yarn is pretty new, so no concerns there, and I'm not donating it. This bucket of yarn I think does need to go in the freezer because it looks a bit potentially dusty, potentially moth eggy. This I got from the Edinburgh Yarn Festival quite recently, so not Edinburgh Yarn Festival, what is it called? From Willy Good. So I think it's fine, and again I'm not donating it. This is a sock that I need to rip out because I'm knitting it at a really tight gauge and I hate it and I'm never going to finish it, so that needs unwinding. That's a little task. This is a massive stack of Emelie magazines that I love and will not get rid of, but I don't know where to put them, so. And then this is the jumper from yesterday, which I will show you more of later. Please enjoy the colour of this water that is coming off of all of these clothes. Moths or not, I think they needed a wash. So a very official process going on over here. I'm taking all the yarn out of things, and anything that looks not suspicious is going in here, and anything that looks suspicious goes in here, and then this will go in the freezer. This is stuff that will be like my personal yarns that I'm keeping.
and anything that is like yarn for the yarn swap will go in a separate bag, so it's like clean, because this bag that I'm using is one that I've used before, so it may not be, I don't know, 100% whatever. So yeah, and also just keep it separate so I know what's what. That's the plan, that's the current plan. I've just put the bath wash, refilled it with a little bit of soap. Usually I would do like 1 round with soap and then 2 rounds rinse, but because it was so dirty the first time and there's so much in there, I'm gonna do 2 rounds soap. 1 round lots of soap, 1 round slightly less soap, 1 round lukewarm rinse, 1 round cold rinse. That's the plan, and then it will be done. We'll be done. Friday, off to a good start. It is Friday, the 30th of August. It is 5:30 and I'm having to use my ring light. Can you see it in my eyes? In my glasses. For the first time this autumn. It does feel a bit like fall is coming. I'm looking out the window at the trees to see if they've changed. They are still green, but going a little bit yellow. Anyway, tomorrow I am at work all day, so I will not be doing much knitting, so I thought I would do my little like wrap up now and then it's done. So I have 2 finished objects from July, no finished objects from August, and a lot of just little like random bits to talk about. I'm quite tired. I've done a lot of cleaning the past few days, a lot of laundry, and I'm going out this evening, so I'm gonna try and get through it quickly, but I always say that and then take forever. But yeah, I'm just gonna crack on. This is my first finished object. I can't remember if I finished this or my other thing first, but this is what I'm going to show you first, and it is a little top. It is a self-drafted top, so sorry I cannot link the pattern. I cast on at the bottom and just knit until I thought I was here, and then I split for the front, split for the back, and I just kind of just knit until I thought that I was going to run out of yarn, because I tried to get this out of one ball of it's a Malabrigo fingering, like single ply merino situation, leftovers from my mystery knit along colored choices. I modelled it after this swimsuit that I have, which I might have already shown you. There's been some clips that I filmed in July that I cannot remember what I did, but I think I talked a little bit about this, so if you've already seen that, you've heard more info. I had a brief moment where I was going to pick up the stitches on this end, and I did indeed pick up the stitches on that end and then knit with basically what was left in the ball, which actually in the end was quite a lot. Like I had a lot left over, but I just didn't like it, didn't look right, and actually this length was fine. It's a little bit short, but I wear a lot of high-waisted things and it's been really good for the summer. And I've never knitted a little summer top before, and I definitely would again. So if you're looking for something like this, I would go for the ripple crop or the ripple like tank top things by Jessie Maed Designs. There are lots there that are kind of similar to this, so I'll link those down below. Yes, that was I finished that in July, and I've worn it a lot in July and August. My other finished objects I had to pull off of the washing line, so they're a bit damp, but it's a pair of socks. It's again self-drafted, sorry, very annoying, kind of a wet sock. It's in a Mondim sock yarn. I'll put the colour description down below, but this is quite old and I don't think I have the band anymore, so it is this sort of vibe, kind of a tweedy guy. It's a hacked, like everyday DRK everyday sock, the Andrew Mowry like basic sock pattern, where I kind of used that as inspiration but did it top down instead of bottom up because I like to knit a top down sock just because I like my cast on to be easy. So yes, that's what I did for that. So I've got like you really can't see this, sorry, the ribbing through the gusset basically is the difference, and that there's ribbing all over and like ribbing through the gusset, and it's been a really well fitted sock. The reason it is wet is because I wore it basically every day when I was camping last week with my new boots, and they were great and no holes so far. I have these and then another pair of socks that are in Mondim and no holes so far in either of them, which I'm quite surprised by because I've heard a lot about the no nylon sock really wearing through. I don't know if it's because of how I've done the sizing or like what I'm wearing with them, but the bottom is like felting up nicely, which is like what I wanted it to do, so that it's kind of a bit hardier, and no signs of holes, so all good so far. So yes, that is my finished objects. I have 1, 2, 3 works in progress to show. One is probably a frog, sadly, but I will start with my most recent cast on, which is the little sock, because I hit a stopping point with one of my other projects and I kind of had nothing to just like away on, so cast on a sock, so I cast on this sock. This is the Homesweet sock by see down below, and it's a colorwork sock. You can barely see the tiny bit of colorwork that I have begun. As is the way for this month, this is like the 3rd or 4th time that I have started this section. I did the cuff, no problem. I did it on 2mm needles instead of 2.25, and I'm knitting the body on 2.25 instead of 2.5, because I'm learning that I'm a loose knitter, so I need to adjust for that. Yeah, I tried it first of all with these 2 yarns together, and the contrast was just a little bit too low. So this is, I think it's called Perfection. I think it's by Needle and Thread. I'm not 100% sure because I still have the band, but I'm not sure if it matches up to this yarn. But this is definitely one of the Perfection yarns from the Perth Festival of Yarn 2 years ago, which is now the Scottish Festival of Yarn, and which is coming up next week. So I thought it would be nice to be knitting on like one of the colorways from the festival when I'm there, or like in the lead up to it, because I'm going like as myself, just to like go to the festival, but also might be sitting at the shop stall for a while, so to have something to just like knit around or just knit while I'm like hanging out with people. So this is what I've done so far. It's barely anything, but it was fulfilling the colorwork needs that I had. And I'm also holding it with this, which is leftovers from a yarn that I also got from Perth Festival of Yarn, now Scottish Festival of Yarn, 2 years ago. So I got these at the same table. They're different dyers. This I think is blue dot fibers. So, but they are contrasting well. I did try it just doing like a little stripe with the blue to see if I liked that, but I didn't. So I'm going in and I'm doing the colorwork pattern, even if 2 variegated yarns are maybe not the best idea, but this is close-ish to a tonal. It's kind of variegated, but it's more of a tonal, so it's not too crazy. Yeah, this is my latest cast on from yesterday. Sock done, not done, but shown to you. Then I have an update on this massive colorwork jumper, which I showed you earlier. I have now completed the colorwork. It's so good. Completed the colorwork and I'm split for sleeves, and I've moved on to the body. I have just tried it on and it's definitely on the oversized side, but I don't hate it and I do not want to knit it all over again. So I probably could have sized down, but I like it. And it's really cozy, and this feels nice, which I was a bit worried about, that it would feel a bit too rustic here. But these are both Jacob's fleece. it's both Jacob fiber, there we go. Fiber from Jacob sheep, how would you say that? I'm losing my mind. The fiber in these 2 yarns is from Jacob sheep, and it's pretty soft. Like, it's not as soft as like a BFL, but it's pretty soft for a rustic yarn. So this grey, you can't really see a huge difference between kind of this grey and this grey. It's just a little bit darker, but the texture is very different and it's not as soft. It is this, which I'm not 100% how to pronounce, Hardwick. Let me know in the comments. But it's this one. And I've almost used all of that up. I have like a little bit left, but I have detached it so that I can use, like, just do 1 or 2 rounds on each of the sleeves, just to kind of keep the color distribution even, because I don't want to run out and then have to like whatever. So I'm currently moving into the brown section, moving into this, which is Hebridean wool. So it is back to kind of being a bit softer. It's closer to the Jacob, and I only have 2 balls. So I have this, which is 50 grams, and I have this one, which is also 50 grams. So not enough to finish the jumper. However, at work we carry the West Yorkshire Spinners fleece Jacob's brand yarn. I'm so tired, I'm really sorry. We carry this, there you go, which you can't really see. I was going to try and tap this instead of tapping the screen to focus on it. Focus on this, so it's this, in an Aran weight. However, it's I don't know if this is a true Aran and the other one is like a heavier Aran, but I've definitely it's been more of a like heavy Aran / chunky, the Tamarisk farm wool. So this is definitely a little bit on the thinner side, and I definitely would need to go down a needle size, if not 2, to kind of get a similar denseness of fabric. If I were to use what I'm using currently, a 6.5mm with this, it would be a lot looser drapier fabric, which is not really the vibe of the jumper. It's very like hardy. So my plan is to use the Hebridean wool for the body, and I've gone down one needle size, so I've gone down to a 6mm, just because I'm not doing colour work anymore, so I don't need to be using the 6.5s, and I'm going to use that for the body as far as I can, and then if I run out I can pick this up, but it does finish with more of this like corrugated ribbing, so that will help the fabric be a bit denser anyway. So hopefully I'll have enough of the like thicker guy to finish up the body, at least enough to get me to the corrugated ribbing, and then I'll use this for the sleeves, but probably go down to a 5.5mm, just so that the fabric is a bit more similar, and it also will like take the sleeves in a bit, which will probably be a good thing because at the moment they're looking quite massive, so like that's what we're working with in terms of sleeve circumference at the moment, which is quite large, which is kind of what I want, but I don't want it to be that large the whole way, so I don't mind having to pull it in a little bit. So yeah, that's the current plan, that's the thinking, and I've just started to switch over to this and to the 6mm needles, which is why I was able to try it on, because it's currently half on one set, half on the other set, and you can see, get a nice kind of idea of what the profile of it is. I'm really happy with it. I'm thrilled to be in my colorwork yoke era, and I'm very excited to carry on with this, so was glad to go and get more yarn for this today, and I'm going to put that in this little basket and stop click-clacking around with the needles. The last project that I have to talk about is another jumper project. It's the jumper project that I took with me on my holidays, that I took to the festival and I took on the train. You may have seen some footage of it already, but it is the Utopia jumper, which was I think originally for Liner magazine, but you can buy as a separate pattern. I will link it down below. It looks like this. There you go. You can see the ring. Ring light reveal. Is there a way to show you without making it? There we go. It looks like this. It's got this kind of like lacy pattern on it, like so. Some YouTubers insert photos, some desperately try to avoid glare on their iPad. It's a sport weight pattern. I'm slightly hesitant because this is the one that I think that I'm going to be ripping out. Basically, I did not get anywhere close to gauge, and I was like, oh, it's fine. It's fine, I'll just make a size that's a bit smaller. I'm not happy with it. Like, I've got quite far. So the gauge you're supposed to get is 21 stitches for 4 inches. I got 18.5 for 4 inches, which is quite a large difference. It basically means that like 21 of my stitches would be like 4.5 inches, maybe even 5. I can't do maths properly, but between 4.5 and 5 inches instead of 4 inches, which makes the actual jumper like a lot bigger than it's supposed to be. So I thought that I could just fix it by going down to like a few sizes smaller, and it's not awful, but it's just not the kind of like small, delicate like that I wanted it to be. It's just giving oversized. Like, it's a similar width to the jumper that I just showed you, like the big colorwork one, which is just not the vibe. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful pattern, it's beautiful yarn, it's a lovely color. These cables down the side of the raglan, gorgeous. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Sometimes you just don't like it, and you spend 2 weeks making something, but you don't like it. So this is, I think, gonna get frogged, which is a shame, but I'm trying not to like feel like, oh, I should finish it because I put all this work into it and think more about if I'll actually wear it. I think especially after spending most of yesterday sorting out my woolens and yarn and such, and having to wash like 6 jumpers that I never wear but that got dirty because they've been like sat out and potentially have been affected by moths, and just like having more objects is creating more work for myself, in terms of like things to clean and like things to take care of. So not giving myself a hard time about not finishing this. I think my current plan is to rip it out and find some sort of fun contrasty thing, and guess what, do a colorwork yoke jumper with it, and I have no shame about that. That's what I want to do. I originally bought this yarn, which by the way is this yarn. It is the Semilla Melange sport weight wool in, it's like, I think it's just called like light blue or something, but it's what's the colorway number? It's color 19. I had a fluff in my mouth. It is color 19. And I originally bought 1 skein of this and 1 skein of a different yarn that I've forgotten what it's called. It begins with a P and it's kind of color changey, not really. It's like kind of spin cycle-y vibes, but not as much variety within the color, but it kind of goes through a few different color variations. I'm looking over there because I have a little swatch. I originally bought a skein of this to do the Great Gingham Raglan with those 2 yarns together, and I did not do that, and then I just bought 5 more skeins to make this because I wanted to make something sport weight over the holidays. Yeah, so I'm thinking that I might try and swatch something with those, but I'm just not 100% sure. But I don't need to be sure enough. That's okay. Yeah. One fun thing doing this is that I finally got to use this little guy, which is one of those, like, what are they called? It's like a flip-flop, except it's not a flip-flop. It's just a little tool that has like 2, what are they called? It's really gonna bother me. I'll put it down in the thing, but it's basically a kind of like multi-use tool. I was using it as a cable needle, but it's very useful because you can use it as a cable needle, and then when you're not using it, you can just attach it to your project because it's like bendable, and then it's just like you're not gonna lose it, it's just attached to your project. So I loved that. That was a fun thing to use. Yeah, this one I think is gonna get frogged. Sad, but it happens. So that is my last project that I can remember, that I can think of. I also today wound up this Exmoor sock for using in my cardigan, which has had no progress, but it will. I have big plans for October as a month of finishing things, which I'll talk about more in another video because I've already rambled on for 25 minutes and this is not even the only part of this video. So I'm gonna close for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you soon.